2 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 7 to 8. And I'm doing my 684th King James Version Bible read still. Still have some Koine Greek words here. And I'm going to read right now. Verse 7. And lest I should be exalted above measure through the abundance of the revelations, there was given to me a thorn in the flesh, the messenger of Satan to buffet me, lest I should be exalted above measure. Now we'll talk about the first line and then the last line later on. Verse 8. For this thing I besought the Lord thrice, that it might depart me. That it might depart from me. All right. Let's read Koine Greek. Koine Greek. All right. So, 2 Corinthians chapter 12 verse 7, the first Koine Greek word is hyperbole. If you can see here, the spelling of the Koine Greek word transliteration is hyperbole, right? But the pronunciation is hooperbole. Hooper. Every time there's HYPER or HY, it is always being pronounced who. Who. Same with kaukamai, this one who. Anyways, hyperbole. But if you're going to read it outright, we can read it hyperbole. Hyperbole. I was thinking, did hyperbole came from this word, Koine Greek word? But anyways, hyperbole. KJV, abundance. Lexical meaning excess, surpassing degree, or abundance. So depending on the context or how you want to create the sentence or structure the sentence, you can use excess, surpassing degree, or abundance. The next word is apokalupseon. Apokalupseon. The last actual syllable is on. Apokalupseon. KJV, revelations. Lexical meaning, disclosures or revelations. So KJV translators almost got it correctly, if not 99.99%, because it could use disclosures as well. All right, the next word, this has been uttered or written twice. So what is this word? Huper KJV, I should be exalted above measure. Lexical meaning, I should be lifted up excessively or I should be exalted. All right. Now, the next word is scolops. Scolops. KJV, thorn. Lexical meaning, stake, sharp object, something causing severe distress or thorn. It's not just physically because it hasn't been disclosed or Apostle didn't provide any detail about it. So we couldn't be dogmatic about this or of what Apostle Paul is really talking about this. It could be physical pains, physical uh, uh, for example, something is causing him pain physically, or it could be uh, challenge in the thoughts, causing confusion, or there's a lot of things that it could be a lot of things. So we couldn't be dogmatic about this. However, this is showing something. Later on, I'll explain. But let's just go ahead and read the next two words. I've combined this word because, anyways, it is the actual sequence of these two words. So we will just read it out loud. Angelos Satana. Angelos Satana. So actually, I've read the transliteration. However, the pronunciation is Angelos, Satana, Satana. Angelos Satana. KJV, messenger, Angelos, or Angelos, of Satan, Satana. Lexical meaning, messenger or angel of Satan or adversary or the accuser. Or adversary. Now the next word is kolafidze. 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 KJV, buffet. Buffet. Lexical meaning, he, she, it might strike, might mistreat, might buffet. And the last word is that we will be discussing is the same word earlier, huperai romai. I should be exalted, I should be lifted up excessively, or I should be exalted. All right, now let me just read it first, verse 7, and then I will share the more literal rendering coming from the actual Koine words and its translation, and then the modern rendering. So, verse 7, and lest I should be exalted above measure through the abundance of the revelations, there was given to me a thorn in the flesh, the messenger of Satan to buffet me, lest I should be exalted above measure. All right. More literal rendering. And because of the surpassing greatness of the revelations, so that I would not become excessively exalted, a thorn was given to me in the flesh, a messenger of Satan, so that he might buffet me, so that I would not become excessively exalted. Later on, I will share my understanding about that. More modern rendering. And because of the extraordinary greatness of the revelations I received, God allowed me to have a painful affliction in my flesh associated with a messenger of Satan to keep me from being proud and exalting myself beyond measure. So I'm gonna try to exegete this one. And because of the extraordinary greatness of the revelations I received, so if God allowed me to receive this thorn so that it keep me reminded of I am nothing. Even though I receive a great revelation coming from Him, uh, exalting me or at least taking me from here to the third heaven, and experiencing it. And there's a lot of words that I've heard that I am not allowed to speak of. So it's an extraordinary experience that probably few, if not, I'm the only one who have experienced it. I'm not going to be exalted. I will not exalting myself over that, because this thorn in my side, in my flesh, the thorn in my flesh, for me at least, is a reminder that I couldn't do it without God, or I couldn't keep His commandment without God. There's something in the flesh that keeps me grounded, that keeps me reminded of, see, without God, you keep Satan would be able to deceive you, would be able to use things for you to be distracted or for you to be falling into your flesh. So again, we are not dogmatic here because Apostle Paul didn't actually provide details. So it could be a physical pain that he's talking about, or it could be a human nature affliction, or something that is giving him a hard time uh, because he's still in human form, or he's still here in the world and he is still living in his flesh. Somehow I kind of relate to it because of the things actually a lot of people sufferings, and God is allowing those kind of hardship, trials, and tribulations that may afflict us, but it's just a reminder from God, at least for me, a reminder from God that you need to look unto me. You need to rely unto me. You need to depend on me. Why? Because of verse 9 and 10. That's a different topic. So that's my exegesis, or at least my eisegesis from this passage, from verse 7. And then let's discuss verse 8. And it will still be connected. 2 Corinthians chapter 12 verse 8. So if you can see here the word hyper, that's the transliteration of the Koine Greek word. And the pronunciation is hooper. 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 If you want to go ahead and say it, pronounce it as it is, hyper. But I'm gonna stick with hooper. All right. KJV 4, but it has a deeper meaning. Lexical meaning, concerning, for the sake of, or on behalf of. So it's not just for. It has a different meaning. All right, and then the next word, this is just a good to know, a reminder. We've discussed about this word before. It's kurion, kurion. So kurion, if you're going to read it directly, but the pronunciation is kurion, kurion. KJV Lord, lexical meaning master or Lord. So at least we know. Whenever someone said kurion, we know what they're talking about in Koine Greek, in Greek language. All right. The next word, one moment, let me just go to the next page. Parekalesa, this came from the root word parakleo, parakaleo, parakalesa, parekalesa. KJV, I besought, lexical meaning, I, I appealed to, I begged, I entreated, I implored. So I besought is an old archaic word in 1611, 1769, but the actual meaning of the word parekalesa is not I besought. I appealed to, I begged, I entreated, or I implored. All right. The next word is apostate. Apostate. KJV, it might depart. Lexical meaning he, she, it might depart, might withdraw, might move away, or might move away. All right. More literal rendering. Concerning this, I pleaded with the Lord 3 times. You know what? Let me just read it first. Verse 8, for this thing, I besought the Lord thrice, that it might depart from me. Now, more literal rendering, concerning this, talking about the thorn on the side. Concerning this, I pleaded with the Lord 3 times that it might depart from me. Modern rendering, because of this affliction, the thorn, talking about the thorn in Apostle Paul's side, because of this affliction, I earnestly pleaded with the Lord 3 times, asking him to remove it from me. So Apostle Paul is not losing his faith here. He's actually surrendering this affliction that is giving him a hard time, but also reminding him that he can never boast, because this affliction or this thorn that Satan was able to use against Apostle Paul keeps reminding Apostle Paul that he needs to depend and rely on the Lord. In verse 9 and 10. I don't want to spoil it, but verse 9 and 10 will answer this for us. Apostle Paul will give an answer to this verse 7 and 8 using verse 9 and 10. All right, so that's a different topic. But then again, 14 minutes. Verse 7, Apostle Paul doesn't want to exalt himself, even though he had experienced something that not a lot of people was able to experience. However, God allowed him to experience some affliction. It could be physically, or hardship, trials, or pains. It could be physically, it could be emotionally, it could be in the mind, it could be in the things that he's planning to do, but it's causing hard times for him. And Satan was able to use it. It's like Satan is capitalizing on it. All right, there you go. That's the term. Satan is capitalizing on it. However, because Apostle Paul is not relying on himself, verse 7, he it reminded him not to exalt himself, meaning he's not perfect. The thorn keeps him grounded because the thorn reminds him that I'm not perfect. See this thorn keeps me grounded. And then on verse 8, he pleaded to the Lord for the thorn to be removed. His faith is not, he's not lacking of faith. His faith is evident because he's relying on God alone. He prayed for it 3 times. Not because he's lacking of faith, but because he's surrendering it to God. Whatever it is, we don't know. Apostle Paul didn't give a detail about it. However, that's a good reminder for us. Or Apostle Paul is one of the MVP. 13 to 14 epistles written by Apostle Paul to reach us readers for today. And he, one of the greatest apostles, or if not, he mentioned he's the least of the apostles. But if we're going to read the New Testament, it's clear that he have done a lot. But he's not boasting about it. That's a good thing. However, we understood that he done so much for us to be able to realize that God is God. Our Lord Jesus Christ is God. So he has been used by God mightily. However, Apostle Paul has been used by God mightily, but he's reminding us that even I has a thorn on the side. And you today, you don't have to worry. Jesus Christ said, if someone persecute you, remember, I've been persecuted first. If someone revile you, remember, I was reviled first. If someone spat you on the face, I had been spat upon on my face. If someone mocked you, I'd been mocked. Now Apostle Paul is saying, same thing with me. I'm going through things, even though I'm with Christ, Christ is in me, I'm in Christ, I'm still experiencing things. However, it didn't derail my path, my focus. 70 minutes. It didn't derail my path and my focus. Because my Lord, His word is the lamp unto my feet and the path and the light unto my path. I might be switching the actual verse there, but it's Psalm chapter 119 verse 105. The word, your word is the lamp unto my feet and the light unto my path, or your word is the lamp unto my path and the light unto my feet. I cannot remember exactly. You know what? We're not 20 minutes yet. So let me just go to Psalm and read it to you. 119 verse 105. Let me just go through it. One moment, guys. Oh, there you go. Oh, 114. Oh, there you go. Thy word is a lamp unto my feet and a light unto my path. There you go. All right. So that's our Bible reading for today in KJV with some Koine Greek words. Tomorrow we will do verse 9 to 10. All right. God bless you guys. Keep safe. I'll be seeing you tomorrow. Bye for now.